The hour of awakening. My dear friends, let us begin with something that may have already happened to you many times. You are asleep, deep in the quiet of the night, and suddenly your eyes open. You look at the clock and it says 3 a.m., or maybe 4:15, or 4:44. You feel alert but also puzzled. The world is dark, silent, motionless. Yet inside you something stirs. You wonder, why now? Why at this strange hour? What if I told you this was not random? What if I told you that these hours between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. are some of the most spiritually charged hours of the day? Across traditions, cultures, and faiths, this time has been called sacred. The window when the unseen world becomes closer, when the veil between the physical and spiritual thins. In Hindu philosophy, this period is called Brahma Muhurta, literally the Creator's hour. It is said that during this time the atmosphere is filled with purity, silence, and higher vibrations, making it the most powerful time for prayer, meditation, and awakening. In Islamic teachings, this is the time of Tahajjud, a blessed moment when prayers are heard most closely by Allah, and the believer's soul finds intimacy with the divine. In Buddhist and Christian traditions too, mystics and monks often rise during these hours to meditate, chant, and commune with God. Why is this time so special? Because when the world sleeps, the soul wakes. Between 3 and 5 a.m., the human brain naturally shifts into a more receptive state. Slower brain waves, calmer energy, a quieted mind. The noise of the day, the conversations, the responsibilities, the chaos is gone. What remains is silence. And that silence is not emptiness. It is an invitation. An invitation to turn inward. An invitation to listen to the whispers of your soul. An invitation to reconnect with the divine source that breathes life into you. Think about it. In the daytime, you are surrounded by distractions. Your phone buzzes, people call your name, work demands your attention. But at 3 a.m., no one is calling you, no one needs you, no one is demanding anything from you. The world is quiet, so you can finally hear the truth inside your heart. This is why so many spiritual masters say, if you wake up at this hour, do not rush back to sleep. Instead, ask yourself, what is my soul trying to tell me? What is God trying to show me? Because in this sacred stillness, guidance flows more easily. Inspiration comes like a gentle stream. Healing thoughts rise naturally. It may not always come in words. Sometimes it is just a feeling of peace. Sometimes it is clarity about a problem that has troubled you. Sometimes it is a soft reminder that you are not alone, that you are guided, protected, and deeply loved. So the next time you wake between 3 and 5 a.m., do not see it as a disturbance. See it as an invitation, a reminder that there are hours designed not for the body, but for the soul. This is not the hour of the world. This is the hour of awakening. And if you embrace it, it can change not just your night, but your entire life. Why you are being awakened. My dear friends, let us go deeper. You wake between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., and at first you may think it is just restlessness, stress, or poor sleep. But what if it is something much more profound? What if it is your soul that is stirring, your higher self knocking, your creator inviting you into sacred conversation? Understand this. Nothing in this universe is without meaning. Your soul is wiser than your mind. And when your soul feels something important, it wakes you up. That hour is not random, it is purposeful. When you rise at 3 or 4 in the morning, your body may feel heavy, but notice how your inner self is awake. The world is dark, yet you feel a spark inside. That is because your spiritual frequency is heightened. At this hour, your subconscious is wide open, your ego is quiet, and your heart is soft. The walls of the physical world thin, and the spiritual world leans closer. This is why, across history, saints, mystics, and seekers have chosen these hours for prayer, meditation, and reflection. They knew that during the day, the noise of life drowns out the whispers of God. But in the silence of early dawn, the whispers can be heard. Sometimes you wake at this hour because the divine is sending you a nudge. Pay attention. Something important is happening. Listen. Maybe it is guidance for your next step. Maybe it is comfort for a wounded heart. Maybe it is clarity for a decision you must make. Other times, it is a reminder. You are not alone. You are being watched, protected, and guided. In spiritual psychology, this is also seen as a call to healing. If you have suppressed pain, unresolved emotions, or burdens you carry silently, they often rise to the surface during these hours. Why? Because your soul knows you are finally quiet enough to feel them. The 3 to 5 a.m. window is like a mirror. It shows you what you need to face, heal, or release. For some, this awakening feels unsettling, even frightening, because silence can expose the truths we avoid during the day. But remember, being awakened is not a curse. It is a blessing. It means you are spiritually alive. It means you are sensitive to energies most people ignore. It means you are ready for growth. Think about this. How many times in your life have you prayed for clarity, for a sign, for guidance? And here it is. Your body awakens you at the very hour when your soul is most receptive. Do not dismiss it as just sleeplessness. See it as your answered prayer. And perhaps the most beautiful part is this. Waking at this sacred time is often preparation. You are being prepared for a new chapter, a higher purpose, a deeper alignment with your destiny. The divine does not wake you without reason. If you are being called in these hours, it is because there is something within you that must rise. So the next time you open your eyes at 3 a.m., don't sigh in frustration. Smile in awareness. Whisper a prayer. Take a deep breath. Know that you are not just waking from sleep. You are waking into your soul. The power of silence. My friends, if there is one gift that the hours between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. give us, it is the gift of silence. Think about it. During the day, noise surrounds us everywhere. The noise of traffic, the constant buzzing of phones, endless conversations, responsibilities, and even the chatter of our own restless minds. Silence has become rare in our modern world, almost forgotten. Yet silence is where the soul breathes. Silence is where the spirit heals. Silence is where God speaks. At 3 or 4 in the morning, the world is still. The streets are empty, most people are asleep, and even nature rests. This is not an accident, it is an invitation. In the sacred stillness of these hours, your inner voice becomes louder. Your intuition sharpens. You can feel the subtle currents of life moving through you. What seems invisible in the daytime becomes visible in the silence of dawn. Why is silence so powerful? Because silence creates space. Space for reflection, for prayer, for meditation, for connection. When you sit in silence, you are not losing time, you are gaining depth. The noise of life drowns out wisdom, but silence allows wisdom to rise. This is why mystics, monks, and seekers across centuries have chosen the early hours for their practices. They knew that silence is not emptiness, it is fullness. It is not absence, it is presence. In silence, the ego weakens. The mind that argues, doubts, and questions becomes softer. The fears that shout during the day begin to whisper. The masks we wear for the world fall away, and we meet ourselves as we truly are, raw, real, and honest. This meeting with the self is powerful, sometimes uncomfortable, but always necessary, because only in silence can you hear what your soul has been trying to tell you all along. Silence also opens the door to the divine. When you sit quietly at 3 a.m., close your eyes and breathe deeply, you will feel it, the subtle presence of something greater. Call it God, the universe, the creator, or higher self, whatever name speaks to you. In the silence of early dawn, that presence feels closer, more intimate, more real. Because you are quiet, you can finally listen. Have you ever noticed how the most profound moments in life are silent? watching a sunrise, standing before the ocean, holding the hand of someone you love, praying with a sincere heart. These moments need no words because the energy itself speaks. The same is true in the hours of dawn. The silence itself is a language, a sacred conversation between you and the divine. This is why if you wake up between 3 and 5 a.m., do not rush to fill the silence. Do not immediately reach for your phone or distract yourself with noise. Instead, embrace the silence. Sit with it, breathe into it, allow it to wrap around you like a blanket of peace. Remember this, silence is not empty. It is full of answers. It is in the silence of these hours that prayers rise higher, intentions grow stronger, and hearts align with truth. The world sleeps, but your soul awakens. And in that awakening, you discover that silence is not just the absence of sound, it is the presence of God, the practice of prayer and meditation. My friends, once you understand the sacredness of the hours between 3 and 5 a.m., the next question is, what do I do with this time? The answer is simple yet powerful: prayer and meditation. These are not just rituals, they are bridges. Bridges between the seen and the unseen, between your restless mind and your higher self, between your soul and the divine. Prayer is the language of the heart. Meditation is the silence of the soul. Together they create balance, the expression and the listening, the asking and the receiving. And in the stillness of these early hours, both become infinitely more powerful. Let us begin with prayer. When you wake up unexpectedly at 3 or 4 a.m., do not see it as an inconvenience. See it as a personal invitation from God. This is your private meeting, your sacred appointment. Whisper your prayers sincerely. Do not worry about fancy words. Speak from your heart. Thank God for the gift of life. Ask for strength for the struggles you face. Seek clarity for the confusion that clouds you. And then, most importantly, simply surrender. Release your burdens into His hands and feel the weight lift from your chest. Different traditions emphasize prayer at this hour. In Islam, the Tahajjud prayer is considered one of the most intimate and spiritually rewarding acts of worship. In Christianity, monks and mystics often rose for the vigils, believing the quiet of night brought them closest to God. In Hinduism, prayers and chanting at Brahma Muhurta are said to magnify energy and bring blessings. The common thread is this: in the silence of dawn, the heart speaks more clearly and the heavens listen more closely. Now let us turn to meditation. Meditation is not about emptying the mind, it is about focusing the mind. In the early hours, your mind is naturally calm, not yet flooded by the day's worries. Sit comfortably, close your eyes and breathe deeply. With each inhale, imagine light filling your body. With each exhale, imagine negativity leaving your aura. Focus on a mantra, a sacred verse, or even a single word like peace or light. Allow your mind to rest in that vibration. At first, distractions may come. Thoughts will wander. That is natural. Do not fight them. Just gently bring your awareness back to your breath, your mantra, your light. Over time, you will notice something extraordinary. Your mind becomes still, your body feels lighter, and your heart feels open. You will sense a presence, a connection, a deep inner peace that words cannot describe. That is meditation, the silent conversation between your soul and the source. You can even combine prayer and meditation. Begin by pouring out your heart in prayer, then sit quietly in meditation, listening, because prayer is when you speak to God, and meditation is when you allow God to speak to you. My dear friends, if you wake between 3 and 5 a.m., don't waste it. Do not rush back to sleep without at least a few moments of prayer or meditation. Even 5 minutes of sincere connection at this sacred hour can transform your entire day. Remember, these hours are not interruptions, they are invitations. Invitations to recharge your spirit, align your soul, and strengthen your bond with the divine. Embrace them, and you will discover that prayer and meditation at dawn are not duties. They are gifts.
Receiving divine guidance. My dear friends, when you wake between 3 and 5 a.m., it is not just a moment of silence. It is a moment of guidance. The divine does not wake you without reason. The same source that sustains the universe has chosen this sacred window to reach out to you. And if you are open, you will discover that what you receive in those quiet hours can change the entire direction of your life. But let us first understand what divine guidance really means. Guidance is not always a loud voice from the heavens. More often, it comes as whispers, gentle impressions, sudden clarity, or a deep inner knowing that arises in your heart. It may come as a verse that echoes in your mind, a memory that resurfaces, or even an idea that feels like light breaking through darkness. This is the language of the soul, the way the divine communicates when the world is quiet and your spirit is awake. During the day, we often beg for answers. God, show me what to do. Universe, give me a sign. But the truth is, the answers are always there. It's just that during the busyness of life, we are too distracted to hear them. The 3 to 5 a.m. window clears the static. It is as though heaven says, now that everything else is silent, listen. So, how do you receive this guidance? The first step is openness. When you wake up at this hour, instead of rolling over in frustration, sit up for a moment. Place your hand on your heart, take a deep breath, and simply ask, what am I meant to learn right now? What is the message for me in this moment? Do not force an answer, just listen. You may not hear words, but you will feel. Perhaps a sudden sense of peace will wash over you. Perhaps a solution to your problem will appear in your mind. Perhaps you will remember something you had long forgotten, but now realize was important. This is guidance. Sometimes, guidance at this hour comes through intuition. Why? Our inner compass becomes sharper. You feel drawn towards certain choices, away from others. You sense who is true in your life and who is not. You realize which paths lead to growth and which lead to harm. And because your spirit is attuned, the signs become clearer. Other times, guidance comes through dreams. Many traditions believe that between 3 and 5 a.m., the veil between the spiritual and physical is thin. Dreams during this time may carry messages, symbols, or warnings. Pay attention to them. Write them down. They may not make sense immediately, but over time their meaning unfolds. And remember, guidance is not always about grand revelations. Sometimes it is about reassurance. You may feel simply that you are not alone, that your prayers have been heard, that your struggle has meaning. This too is guidance, a reminder that the divine walks with you even in the dark. My friends, if you are being awakened at this sacred hour, it means you are chosen for something higher. The universe is not ignoring you, it is calling you. Do not dismiss it, embrace it. Because the guidance you receive between 3 and 5 a.m. may not just change your morning, it may change your entire life. Aligning with your higher purpose. My dear friends, waking up between 3 and 5 a.m. is not just about silence, not just about prayer, and not just about guidance. At its core, it is about purpose. These sacred hours remind you that you were not placed on this earth by accident. You are not here merely to exist, to eat, to sleep, to work, and to repeat. You are here with a mission, with a soul assignment, with a higher purpose that only you can fulfill. Think about it. Why do you believe your spirit is stirred awake while the world still sleeps? It is because the divine wants your attention. In the noise of the day, you forget who you are. You get caught in survival, in responsibilities, in distractions. But at 3 or 4 in the morning, when the veil between the physical and the spiritual is thin, the divine whispers, remember why you are here. Aligning with your higher purpose does not mean you have to abandon your life and become a saint, monk, or hermit. No. Your higher purpose is woven into your daily existence. It may be in the way you raise your children, the love you pour into your relationships, the honesty you carry into your work, the kindness you offer strangers, or the courage you show in following your dreams. Purpose is not always loud. Sometimes it is quiet, steady, and deeply personal, but it always carries light.
When you wake up at dawn and give yourself to prayer, meditation, or reflection, you are aligning yourself with that light. You are reminding your soul, I am not here by chance. I am here to serve, to grow, to awaken, to lift others as I lift myself. This awareness changes everything. Suddenly, your struggles are not meaningless. They are training. Your pain is not punishment. It is preparation. Your blessings are not random. They are tools given to help you fulfill your purpose. Ask yourself in these early hours, what is my gift? What is my calling? What impact was I born to make? And then be patient. Answers may not come all at once, but with time, clarity will build. The more you dedicate yourself to these sacred practices, the more your purpose will reveal itself, like the slow rising of the sun, scattering the darkness bit by bit. Aligning with your higher purpose also means walking in integrity. It means saying yes to the things that align with your soul and saying no to the things that drain it. It means honoring your uniqueness instead of trying to fit into society's mold. It means shining your light unapologetically, even if others do not understand it. Because purpose is not about pleasing the world. It is about fulfilling what your Creator placed inside you. My friends, if you are awakened at 3 a.m., it is not a coincidence. It is a calling to rise, to align, to live with intention. Do not waste this gift. Use these hours to listen, to pray, to plan, to align with the path your soul was always meant to walk. Because when you live in alignment with your higher purpose, you do not just exist, you radiate. You inspire. You become a light in a world that desperately needs it. And that, my dear friends, is the true reason you are being awakened. Not to disturb your rest, but to awaken your destiny. My friends, as we close this journey together, let us return to the heart of today's message. Waking up between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. is not a burden. It is a blessing. It is not an accident. It is an invitation. It is the universe, the divine, whispering to your soul, rise. This is your moment. Too often we roll over in frustration when our sleep is disturbed. We assume it is random or simply a restless night. But what if those hours were never meant to be wasted? What if they were designed as sacred windows, when heaven leans closer to earth, when your spirit is most open, and when guidance flows most freely? What if your awakening at this time is not a disruption, but a calling? Throughout this journey, we discovered why these hours matter. We began with the truth that waking up at 3 or 4 a.m. is a spiritual signal, a reminder that your soul is being stirred for something greater. We then explored how this sacred window aligns with divine rhythms across cultures, known as Brahma Muhurta in ancient traditions, Tahajjud in Islam, and the hour of prayer in Christian monastic life. We saw that when the world is silent, your connection to the divine becomes stronger, your intuition sharper, your heart more open. We also uncovered the power of practice, how prayer and meditation in these hours become the bridge between you and the source of all life. Prayer allows you to speak from your heart. Meditation allows you to listen with your soul. And together, they unlock guidance that is always available but rarely heard. Then we delved into the beauty of divine guidance itself, how answers come not always in words, but in peace, clarity, dreams, or sudden inspiration. Guidance may come as courage to release what no longer serves you, or as wisdom to step into the path that is waiting for you. And most importantly, we realized that waking at this time is about alignment, aligning your life with your higher purpose, with the reason your soul was sent here. So now, I ask you, the next time you wake between 3 and 5 a.m., what will you do? Will you roll over and miss the invitation? Or will you rise and embrace it? Will you see it as a random disturbance, or will you recognize it as a sacred meeting with the divine? The choice is yours. But know this, those who honor these hours, who use them to pray, to breathe, to reflect, to listen, they are never the same. They carry light in their eyes, peace in their hearts, and strength in their spirits that cannot be explained by ordinary means. My dear friends, your awakening at this hour is not just about a single morning. It is about transforming your life. It is about remembering that you are not here by accident. You are here with a purpose. You are here with a mission. You are here with light that the world desperately needs. So the next time you open your eyes at 3 a.m., whisper a prayer of gratitude. Sit up, breathe deeply, connect. Because in that moment, the divine has chosen you. And when you honor that choice, you step into the fullness of who you are meant to be. Rise, pray, meditate, align. Because these sacred hours are not just about waking up from sleep, they are about waking up your soul,